Okay.
You're live.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the REDX podcast. My name is Haley Johnson. It is a pleasure to be with you today. Today, we have a return guest with us. We have Greg Mcdaniel. I know a lot of you have seen him before, so we're excited to have him back on. Welcome, Greg.
Haley, what's going on, girl? You know what? Our pre-show conversation was absolutely hilarious. We were laughing so hard right before we came on. Our producer was like, "And you're live in 3, 2." We're like, "Are you for real?" 1. Hello, how are you?
Oh gosh, always a good time. So I'm excited to get into the conversation we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk mostly about social media, which is a hot topic right now. I know Greg is all over that, so we're going to go through that. But before we get started, I just want to tell everybody that is watching to please ask your questions throughout the podcast. If you're watching on our website, YouTube, Facebook, all the places, just put in your questions and we will get to those as soon as we can. Other than that, I think if you're watching on YouTube, please be sure to subscribe. We'll ping you whenever we have new podcasts every week. But other than that, I think we're good. Greg, let's start with just the people that don't know who you are. Just give us a little rundown, a little background, a little about you.
Sure, not a problem, Haley. I appreciate it. My name is Greg McDaniel. I've been a real estate agent for 21 plus years here in the San Francisco Bay Area. We predominantly work in the luxury marketplaces. We take listings anywhere from, 300,000, and that's more of our lower price point, and then up to $10 to $20 million. I'm working on a $10 million project right now, which I'm really excited about. Cross fingers, toes, and eyes, and everything else.
Yes.
And so I work with my team. My father's been doing it for 50 years. That's a 50, and then years behind it. In 3 different states, top producer. He's taught me everything. And I've been able to sit at the feet of people and coaches and trainers that are absolute masters at what they do. So the knowledge I have gleaned off of individuals who are exceedingly more intelligent than I am. And so I'm just here to bring value, help anybody they can with calls, scripting, social media, videos, you name it. Let's go. Haley, you're in the driver's seat. Where are we going from here?
Awesome. That was a great introduction. So let's just talk. We're talking about social media. So I just want to ask kind of a generic question. You can take me through it. Is how has social media affected your business?
In what regards?
Just how has it, how have you used it, and how has that improved listings, your GCI, stuff like that? How has it benefited you?
That's a short question, long answer. So I'm going to make it as concise as humanly possible. Social media has been a huge impact in regards to how we get visible. I use multiple different companies to become visible on social media. I use a company called Clever Leads, spelled with a K. And then I use a company that they're affiliated with called GVI Media. And so what they do, I will record a video. Clever Leads, again with a K, will take my content, put their video editors behind it, shred it up, make it into a video that can put onto social media on YouTube, on Instagram, Facebook, so on and so forth, LinkedIn, and that's where GVI Media actually comes in. But they'll do SEO, video tags, channel tags, keywords, the whole 9 yards at no additional cost. So my visibility there is actually tremendous. GVI Media on the back end of Clever will then take that and slice it and dice it and then take it into a Gary V form and push it out on all different platforms. And I can take a 30-minute to an hour-long video, which anyone who knows me knows that I do an hour-long video like in a heartbeat. And they can use that for like a month or 2 or 3 months easily on these different platforms. So that is one thing that we're doing. The other thing that I'm really doing is that I'm very conscientious in regards to it. And yes, there are days I don't do this, so don't judge me or shame me. But I do 2 Instagram and Facebook stories a day. One personal, I'm not going to do the middle finger. Ooh. One and then one professional. And so it's me out going for a run, right? So I'm like, oh, I got to take my chubby ass for a run, which I'm not chubby, but it's funny to make the joke, right? Because everyone's like, oh my God, the vanity weight. But I go out there and I do my run and I say I did a 4-mile run, push-ups and the whole thing. And then I come in and I talk about like the fact, like yesterday, I had an individual that called me up and they wanted to do multiple different deals with me based upon what they've been seeing on social media. So it takes time. Is it a one-stop shop? Are you going to get something instantaneously? You know what? Who knows? Possibly. Most likely not. It's going to be a job you have to put into your calendar, you have to work on. But social media is an opportunity where you get intense visibility. There's a new app called Clubhouse, and I've been on there for about 3 months or so at this point. Dude, my Instagram account has gone vertical in regards to people reaching out when I reach into rooms and talk to people and speak and everything like that. So when it comes to social media, it is a good thing and a bad thing. Depends on how you use it. That's the most important thing. But there are ways to do it at a zero cost basis. And if you tag it along with the REDX data, so you're doing calls and you're following up with them and making friends with them on social media, you're going to have friends for life at this point.
I love that. Well, and there was a question that we got in one of our surveys from Amanda, and she asked for somebody that isn't, you said that you use Clever Leads, but she said, would you suggest having 1 to 2 main social media platforms, or regular, like joining as many as possible, but maybe like spreading yourself a little bit more thin?
It's a question everyone gets quite a bit when they're up there and talking about this stuff. Yeah. My personal philosophy can't talk. Philosophy is that I would go with what you're most comfortable with. So if you love LinkedIn, go hard in the paint on LinkedIn. If you like Instagram, if you like TikTok, if you like Facebook, find 1 or 2 that you really enjoy that can cross-pollinate really well together, and then just don't give a gosh darn about the rest of them at this point. Now, you can grow into those other platforms, and again, everybody's going to have a different opinion. That's totally, completely fine. Again, this is what's worked well for me. LinkedIn, I am connected up the wazoo with people. I think I have like 13 or 14,000 connections in LinkedIn. I never use it. Why? It's not my flavor. What do I like? I like Facebook and I like Instagram because it's more social and I can do my own style in there. Yeah. But kind of just figure out what your style is. Reach out to practitioners who are in the field that are really doing a good job at it, and send them a DM, ask them what they're doing to build their business, how they're getting visibility, how they get their the level of their level of followers, and then take action on anything that these people tell you. If you don't take action, they're never going to follow you. But I would never ever suggest doing everything. Now, Gary Vee does every platform under the sun, and then every platform that's coming up, right?
Yes.
There's the difference. He has a full-time videographer that follows him around even when he's sleeping, and he has 18 people on his content team. A lot of us don't have that.
Right.
So start small, grow big. It's not a problem. This is not a sprint. This is a marathon. So ladies and gentlemen, please be aware of that.
So if you had to pick 2, then you would pick Facebook and Instagram?
Facebook and Instagram. Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. So then I want to talk about, we've kind of like touched a little bit, but like for agents that, there are older agents that aren't on social media at all, or there are people that are really active on social media, things like that. Tell me why social media is important for agents. You reach a bigger audience, and like you said, you can go from like calling an expired lead to following them on Facebook to following up with them. Like there's a whole timeline, but convince agents that maybe aren't sold as to why social media can work really well.
Not a problem. Again, short question, long answer. One of the things that in regards to social media, in my humble opinion, of course, is to the fact that with COVID and the time that we're recording this interview, a lot of folks have been not able to interact with other folks. So we're finding different ways. So we're doing video interviews, video calls, FaceTimes, Facebook video, live video messages back and forth. And so when it comes to social media, the first word in that whole phrase is social. it's allowing people to create rooms, groups. You can go onto Clubhouse and create a room and have a conversation with your friends or family or people that are interested in, if you like cat, if you want to wash your cat in the tub, or if you want to, pet your goldfish, or if you want to, do, social media work or video work or anything else, any kind of stuff you want to talk about is out there. So social media is important because you need to have that human connection. Now, is it going to be digital? Yes. Can you take it offline? Yes, 100%. That's something we're going to talk about down the road in this conversation. I would 100% say, because of COVID and the way that it's kind of divided humanity, some people hate it, some people love it, right? Yeah. Now, the only good agent, a secret agent I've ever found is going to be James Bond. And if you want to be seen in front of your coworkers, you want to be seen in front of your database and stuff like that, social media is going to be one of the major places to stay relevant. That's why it goes back to the 2 posts, one personal, one professional, on a daily basis. Yeah. So like I said, I make fun of myself all the time. I take my chunky ass for a run. I come back. I look like dog poo-poo. But you know what? I'm sweaty and my hair's everywhere and the whole nine. But I don't allow myself to be intimidated by that. And then people hit me up and they're DMing me like, oh my God, you're such an inspiration. Thank you so much. I want to go for a run right now. And I get that a lot, actually. So the reason why it's important is that you have to be in front of people. Otherwise, people will view real estate agents as movie stars. Pick your favorite movie star actor or actress.
Oh gosh. First one that came to my head was Zac Efron.
Okay, Zac Efron. Perfect. There we go. So if Zac Efron wasn't in movies for a year, right? And you're like, where the blank did this guy go? Well, you know what? We all think that Zac Efron made a $250 billion, and he's on his 20 billion foot yacht, and he's eating champagne and caviar for lunch, breakfast, and dinner, right? When in reality, he's probably working in some dark closet on a script, trying to get something done to push his next project out, and he's getting rejected time over time. Same thing with real estate. Guys, if they don't see you on a consistent basis, now, you don't have to be wearing the really expensive suit or anything else, but you have to be relevant to the people you talk to and be in front of their faces. If you vanish, your business vanishes. And everyone always says, like, well, gosh, why did my client, air quotes, list with that other agent? And my question to you is, Haley, did they know that you were their client? Did they know that? Because you weren't relevant, you weren't present. It's like a relationship. If you were in a personal, intimate relationship with a boyfriend, a girlfriend, a significant other, and all of a sudden you ghosted on them for a couple of years, and then you come back and be like, yo, why'd you move out?
I know.
It's the same scenario, right? That's why social media is so important. You got to stay in front of folks and talk about the silly, dumb things you have in your life. Like, I've done stuff like me jumping in my pool and saying hashtag working from the pool day, right? Thousands of views. I jumped in this little floaty thing in my pool, and I made fun of myself because I'm a 6'5", 245-pound dude in this tiny little purple floaty. And I'm going like, I'm floating in the pool. Pretty sure this doesn't fit me. What do you guys think? And then I'll post something about a property that I'm working on, or something, a buyer that I'm working with, or something like that. But people laugh, they joke, they tune in, they stay in your sphere, and that's one of the most important things.
So talk to me a little bit about, like you said, that it sounds like you're just posting like things that you just do in your everyday life, right? And just making sure that you post it so people feel a little bit more connected to you. But for people that don't know what to post, or don't feel like their lives are exciting, or aren't swimming in pools all the time, talk to me a little bit about content that people can post.
Sure. So there's a site called neighborhoodscout.com. And I want you guys to go to neighborhoodscout.com. In the search bar there, it's kind of like a Google search. And you type in a zip code. Do not type in an address. Type in a zip code. They'll bring up an outline of that zip code. Now, there's going to be multiple colors under each one of those different micro markets in there. Now, you can run your mouse over them, and you can pick anyone. So pick 4th and Maple. Click it, right? It's going to give you a brief overview. Again, this is a sword, not a scalpel when it comes to content. So you can have a broader conversation. Yeah. And you go in there and you say, okay, here's some real estate content. Here's notable and unique people and places, ethnicity, ancestry, history. There's a whole myriad of things. Check with your broker. Make sure you're not violating any kind of fair housing laws in regards to the content you're going to produce. But there's a lot of value there in each micro market. Then you take that, record it, and then you can find an editing team, which I can help you with if you need one. And it's not my editing team. I don't make any money on this. But you know what? You can go in there and start creating these videos for each micro market. So you become like the guy or the gal of the neighborhood with this information that nobody knows about. Then you video tag it, channel tag it, SEO it, keyword it. Again, I'm going over a lot of people's heads, but I can help people understand this. Yeah. But that's one place I would go for that. The second place I would go, it would be a neighborhood scout, and then oh snap, what is the other one? Well, I'll obviously go to Inman News and get some content. There's a gentleman who has a podcast on YouTube. It's called Timcast, and now it's a political show, right? But his style of doing this is phenomenally interesting. What he does is, if you're worried about content, what he does is he goes out and he reads news articles, then he brings them up on the screen, and then he gives his opinion as he shows you and walks you through the articles. So there's a lot of really good stuff out there you can do for real estate. For instance, my friend Bernice Ross, who I'm business partners with over at Inman, she and I put out content every single week. And one of the things that she just put out, I wasn't a part of it because I couldn't do the article with her that week, is talking about how if agents are going to go from 1099 to W-2, like, and what's going on with that. So you could take that article and you could say, hey, look, I read this article on Inman News, and give all the credits. Bernice Ross wrote it, and here are some of the highlights on it. This is my opinion on it. Would love to get your feedback. Then you get some people commenting on it as you grow your channel. But you don't have to go out there and be the smartest man or woman or individual out there. You can just go rebarf some of the content out there, but give credit where credit is due. Yeah. And you're now a newscaster, air quotes, on content that's already being written. So go to MSNBC, CNN, Fox News, real estate, Inman News, go to all these different sources, grab these articles and check them out. I mean, it's very easy to create content on social media. You just have to think a little bit out of the box, go look at people that are doing things that are not in real estate and how it's working for their businesses, and then bring it back into our industry. So again, short question, long answer.
I like that. Taking like relevant topics and just making a video and talking about those things, your opinion, stuff like that, kind of starting a conversation almost, right?
Yeah, 100%. Maybe you can even do it like a live show on Facebook and Instagram. You use a couple of different sources. I use a company called Liveleap, and Liveleap will help me leap over to different sources in Facebook. I also use a company called it's not WeTransfer. Talk about having a brain fart. StreamYard. I use StreamYard, and StreamYard allows me to post in multiple different social media places at one time. So I can do Facebook, I can do YouTube, and I can do Periscope at one time. And that's a couple of bucks, like $300 a year, $200 a year, or something like that. But it allows you to do one post, many places, and you can build this stuff and really grow.
I like that. One post in many places, because we were talking about like focus on one place or two places, whatever, but things like that just kind of spread out to multiple. Seems like you could grab a wider audience.
Yeah, and it's about grabbing a wider audience and you working smarter, not harder. Because if I can like on my podcast, I use StreamYard every single time, and I go to Instagram, and I go to Facebook, YouTube, and Periscope, and so then all of a sudden, now I can go back into LinkedIn, or not LinkedIn, go back into YouTube. Why do I keep saying LinkedIn? It's driving me nuts. Go back into YouTube, and I can then channel tag, video tag, specific things about the shows that I'm doing. You can turn that into then an IGTV if you record it on your phone, then post that up onto Instagram. So I mean, there's a ton of different things you can do with this stuff.
So and this brings up a question that we got from somebody. They said, how do you increase engagement organically?
Consistently and persistently posting.
Okay.
And then be very diligent in regards to what you're doing. My podcast is one of the most popular podcasts in the real estate industry. We've spent literally $0 in marketing. We just made a concerted effort to make sure we post. Back in the day, we were posting Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 3 days a week, 1 hour at a time.
Mm-hmm.
Now we've broken it down. Now we have 2 shows. The Wednesday show is the Marketing Roundtable. Fridays, Real Estate Uncensored. But people know exactly when to show up for this stuff. I do my beers and calls when I do live prospecting, at 4:30 on Monday through Thursday. And people just know to show up for this. So your audience has to understand where and when you're going to be around. Organically, that will grow. Then you need to talk with clever leads, get those folks, push them back to a landing page or a web page where it's super sticky, grab their information. Then you can do follow-up content with them through text messaging and email, and now you stay relevant with them for the rest of their lives.
Mm-hmm. So for somebody that's newer, a newer agent that's starting out with this, would you recommend Clever Leads? Because it sounds like it takes everything and spits everything out. So for someone that's newer at it, do you think that would be a good? You said it was free, or parts of it are free?
So there's nothing in life is free.
Amen.
Right? Not even lunch. No, there are different tiers, and again, I don't work for them. I'm not pitching them. This is just a company I use. I want to make that very, very, very clear. But I think they start at about $250 a month, and then it's kind of like a cell phone bill or a prepaid cell phone. Like you can add on time for like text messages, geofencing, emails, postcards, the whole thing. And the program I subscribe to it's like $17.55 a month, something like that. But I get a full-time 40-hour-a-week VA. I get text messages, emails. I mean, the whole geofencing, the whole shebang. Mm-hmm. I got using your guys' data, which is phenomenal, and I argue is the best in the business. We use that data for some of the stuff, the campaigns that Clever's using, and it's unbelievable to see the results. And then I come back in and I dial through REDX. When I get a hot lead, they load them back in for me, and then I dial them through your program, and it's just unbelievably effective. You work so much smarter.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about. I mean, you've told us a lot of these tools that you use on a day-to-day basis that just makes it more effective and more, like you said, working smarter, not harder. So really just use tools to your advantage to kind of like streamline the process a little bit more. So
it is all about streamlining. It's about finding your rhythm, your cadence, right?
Yeah.
Like, it comes down to, Haley, okay, so do you want, again, this is me just being a dude. Do you want to support your husband and like put money into a vacation fund or a shoe fund or a purse fund? Or, again, I'm not being sexist, I'm just having fun.
Purse fund.
Okay. Yeah. Or do you want to be a dominant agent and just crush skulls? Because we all know women are way better in this business than men are. It really depends on kind of where you want to land and what you want to do. And the tools that I'm working with can allow you that latitude of, hey, I have a husband with 2 kids, 3 kids, and, we want to go to Disneyland and have a great time. I'm going to do 2 to 3 deals, and that's going to be our vacation fund for the year. Great. Knock yourself out. Now you're working smarter. Don't break your head against a brick wall. If you want to be a dominant agent, okay, sign up for everything under the sun and then just figure out how you're going to put it into place. But again, it's just figuring out what you want to do.
Yeah. We had a question from Fargo. She said, I know the platforms and post to them individually, but what do you mean by video tag?
A video tag. So that's going to be in YouTube. You go into the creator setting in the back, and you click on Creator Studio, go over to the left-hand side. Then you're going to go into where your videos are. You're going to take the video you have. You're going to scroll down. You're going to have either video tags or channel tags. So the video tags, and this is a really interesting thing. If you want to really understand what these are, if you just go into YouTube right now and you type in real estate Walnut Creek, that's where I live, right? California. You're going to see all those different options that pop up right in the top section area. Pick on one that you like. Then there's going to be a filter section over on the top, right above that video, those videos on the upper right-hand side, the 3 different lines. Click on that, drop down, go to the most viewed. The most viewed is going to pop up. Click on that most viewed. Go to your right-hand side. You also need to download a free app. It's called vidIQ, so VIDIQ. And then when you get that, that Google plugin, associated with your YouTube channel, which by the way, it's stupid simple. I figured it out, so I'm sure you guys can. And you're going to be able to scroll down. You're going to be able to see the video tags, and that's what makes you searchable. You can go to the right in that whole area right there. There's going to be a little paperclip area. Click on it. You're going to be able to copy all of those video tags, bring them over into your Creator Studio, copy and paste them into your video tags area. Use the same freaking title they did. Use everything. It's R&D, rip off and duplicate, okay? And then just become more relevant. Keep putting this stuff in there. Put your name in there. Put a hashtag you want to control in there. But that's what made these people searchable. All of a sudden, you leapfrogged over your competition. Guys, look, nobody is doing this. You've got to start doing this.
Another question. Well, first, Michael, I want to say he was asking for some of the websites we were mentioning. We will put all of the websites and resources that Greg is mentioning in the show notes after the show. So stick around for that. Beauty Culture asked, if I am a beauty influencer and working to get my real estate license, should I start a new Instagram for my real estate?
It really depends on how you want your image to be, seen. When it comes to your beauty, line and everything else, I would say DM me offline. Let's have an offline conversation because I don't really understand enough to actually answer that. If you have a large following and they respect and understand the fact that you're going to be moving into the real estate side, still being a beauty model and beauty products, you could leverage that and give those as gifts, as closing gifts. You can offer those out to different agents as you get going as big mega agents and give them to them and do interviews, about how their clients enjoyed them. I mean, there's a lot of ways you can leverage that information. Everybody has a superpower, and it sounds like beauty products is going to be probably something you can start off with as a superpower. Obviously, you can tell I wear beauty products every day.
Oh, yeah.
And I love it when you guys laugh when I say that. I feel
your complexion's amazing. I was going to say it earlier.
All seriousness, DM me offline. Let's have a conversation about it. But I mean, there's no reason to hide who you are. When I first started off doing some Instagram and Facebook stuff, I made a decision personally to just put everything out there as myself. If you look at anything I post, it's just me having a lot of fun, and I'm just me, 100%. I show off my Jeep, which I call the Beast, all the time. I'm talking about stuff. I'm not feeling well. I post that. I do all of that. So it's deciding on if you want to do real estate and or beauty. But I think real estate and beauty together has a phenomenal upside on that on so many levels, because you make so many friends with real estate agents. You can go out to on brokers tours and stuff like that and hand out some of your product, get an interview from them a week later. How did you like the moisturizer or whatever it's going to be, right? Yeah. And then say, hey guys, my name is so and so with X, Y, and Z real estate agency. I also own a beauty company, and this I'm interviewing Haley. Haley, I gave you a product moisturizer the other day. What do you think? Interview, right?
Beautiful.
Super simple.
That's awesome. I kind of want to shift gears just a little bit to talk about something you mentioned. You said how to get leads by posting to your story every day. So I kind of want to talk about more of the business side of social media now, and how you are generating leads from it.
Not a problem. Great question. One of the things a lot of people and all of us, including myself for a long period of time, overlooked is something super simplistic, is that posting the stories to your Instagram and Facebook. Now, it's really good to get that visibility. That's our first step. Now, one of the things that none of us do, and I'm guilty of it as well sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes, is the fact that like all those people. So Haley, when you go watch one of my Instagram stories, right? Mm-hmm. What would it mean to you if I was to hit you up on a DM, be like, dude, H-Dog, what's up? thanks so much for watching everything that I'm putting out there. How's life? What's new? Let's connect. So it's building that personal connection. It's at a zero cost basis. You're already putting the content out there. People are watching and following you. People want to be heard and seen. Those are the two things people want. Heard, seen, and understood. That's the three things. But start reaching out to people and spend time making those relationships. So you're going to take them from online to offline very quickly. So Haley, if you and I lived in the same city and you keep watching all my stuff, I'd be like, yo, Haley, how are you, girl? Thanks for watching all my crazy stuff. What'd you think about that crazy video I posted about the tree trimmers that are outside my window? ? I let you respond to me, and then I'll be like, hey, why don't you and your boy, why don't we all go get a couple of beers or a burger or something, and we'll just catch up and see how life is. What works well for you guys this week or next week? And all of a sudden, two things happen. The algorithm starts saying like, oh, these two people talk together, right? Yeah. Second off, I get to go meet with you and your man, and I'm making a lot of assumptions here. I'm not saying anything is wrong, but I'm saying that like you were in this story, it's you and your guy. We're gonna go out. We're gonna go out and get a burger, or maybe a beer or two, and just cut bread and see how life is, and then start a conversation offline. So it's very simple, but it does take work. Do not get me wrong on that one.
So you're just looking at the people that are looking at your stuff, like, because you can see who's seen your story or whatever, and then just going from there and messaging those people?
Yeah, it's a very simple way of going about it. And a lot of people try to overthink it. But if you just do, let's say a lot of people don't have a lot of followers on Instagram or Facebook right now. You know what? That is absolutely fantastic. That's perfect. My girlfriend is very much an introvert. Okay. And so she has, I think, maybe 200 people on her Instagram, and I'm at like 20,000 or something. Now, here's the thing. There's the difference between us. When she posts something, she has like a 50 to a 70% interaction rate with the people who are watching her stories. So if you guys are just starting in the business and you're like, oh my God, well, I don't have a big following, that's okay. That's fine. Just start posting, re-interacting with these people, and watch what happens, because people are craving the conversation. So give them a conversation, hit them up and just say, what's going on? How's life? What's new? Blah, blah, blah. And just go get offline, go get coffee, go get a beer, go get a glass of wine, go get a hot, sweet tea. Doesn't matter. Just go do yoga. I can't say that word. I don't give a dang.
Awesome. So, and I was thinking as you were talking, so you have like thousands and thousands of followers, and what we were saying earlier, is that just because you're consistent and you're showing up, and did you slowly grow that following over time, just because you were showing up?
Yeah, 100%. Matt, my co-host, and I on Real Estate Uncensored, we literally looked at each other 6+ years ago, and I remember sitting in this exact chair looking at him going like this, like, dude, do you even think anybody's gonna listen to us? And he's like, I don't care. I'm like, me neither. We just have fun. And so we went out there and we followed a model, the Gary Vee model of like, he took 18 months for him to get a wine library up and running. And so we said, okay, that's our benchmark. We're going to do 18 months. And so we put our noses to the grindstone. We never looked up. We didn't give a rat's rear end about anybody else's podcast. We just crushed content out the window, and we didn't care. And so when you guys are building your social media following and your YouTube following and everything else, don't look at Bob in the cubicle down the hall. We don't care what Bob's doing. All right. Your biggest competition is going to be yourself. So when you wake up in the morning, and did you put some content out or not? You got a W or you got an L. Which one are you going to live in? Win or loss for that day when it comes to your content creation and your business moving forward? Reach out to high producers in your marketplace or around the globe. Find someone on Clubhouse. Go out, reach out to the network in REDX. Talk to people that are practitioners, not people that talk, practitioners, and get their information and then execute it on a high level. You will leapfrog over other people. Read books, listen to podcasts, be a sponge of content. Guys, everything out there is free right now. If you screw this up, it's like this. Here's the analogy. If you screw this up, it's like this. Haley, I want to take you on a date. And Haley says, Okay, Greg, I'll go on a date with you. Great. That's exactly like a listing appointment. She's already said yes to me. If I screw that up on that date, that's on me. And that's because of lack of knowledge. So you guys, when it comes to this stuff, every single time you're on a listing, listing consultation, or you're in a buyer's presentation, it's a first date. They already said yes to you. Now, be proficient in your skills. Get the knowledge in your head. Do everything I just talked about. Be a sponge. You will succeed on a high level, and never, ever, 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 ever stop doing calls with REDX and their system and their staff. They will support you to the God's green earth, to the end of it. They are phenomenal at it. They've never let me down in the slightest bit, and I love doing calls with them.
Thank you. Thanks for that plug. We didn't even ask you to say that. So that was awesome. Thanks.
It's the truth.
And what I was thinking is there are so many people out there. There's so many different markets, so many different areas, and people that, even though you said your girlfriend's an introvert, she still has a following because people like her. And people follow Greg because they like Greg, and people follow this person, whatever. And so different people will appeal to different people. So even if you're an introvert, or if you're something else, different personality than maybe someone that you think is killing it, there's still people out there that will gravitate towards you and want to follow you and interact, right?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, your tribe will find you. Because once you find yourself, your tribe will come running towards you 1,000 miles an hour. Yeah. I always laugh about the fact that I used to dress like my father, wear the same cologne, comb my hair the same way, the whole 9 yards. I got sick. I didn't like myself and my skin then. And then as soon as I started, again, of course, I don't do this on your show. On my show, I curse a lot and I make dumb jokes. And my tribe has come running to me because they find the humor in that. Yeah. I take multi-million-dollar listings. I showed $18 million of homes yesterday, 2 days ago. I was wearing jeans, Vans, a baseball hat, a sweater, and a t-shirt. Mm-hmm. And guess what? This guy didn't care. He wants to buy everything that I showed him because I showed up authentically as who I am. So be authentic. That's the most important part when you're doing the calls with REDX, when you're doing the social media. Be you. If you're a freak, be a freak. If you're high and tight, be high and tight. I mean, if you're a hippie, be a hippie. Doesn't matter. Just be professional in the side of when it comes to real estate. Never deviate from being a professional on that side. Know your information. But also be true to who you are on your personal side. And the two will marry together so quickly, you'll be scared. I told everyone that I wanted to be out of active real estate at the beginning of 2021. I said this very openly. The good Lord came down and he's like, no, that ain't going to happen, buddy. And I've had more business in the first 3 months than I have had in a long time. But that comes down to a lot of other factors. But I mean, the thing is that I owned who and where I wanted to go, but the universe took me in a different direction. But just be open to whatever's going to happen, guys. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be so much fun to watch where your businesses are going to go. But just be open to be real. Never stop prospecting. Use REDX. Do the calls. Do social media. Get back in touch with people. Be real. End of story.
I like this. Yeah, so if I'm putting this podcast into a couple words, it really is about relationships, being consistent, and being authentic is what I'm hearing.
Yes, 100%, without a doubt.
Sum it up pretty well. Awesome.
Wow, that's really good work. No wonder they hired you.
Thank you. I have a notebook. I'm writing all these notes. It's great. Hey, Greg, we are coming up here at the end of the podcast, so I just want to ask you for final thoughts, final words. Give you the last word here.
Give me your last rites, my child. Oh my God. So I'm being excommunicated from the podcast. Okay.
All good things must come to an end, unfortunately.
Unfortunately. Final thoughts, guys, is be a student of education and information. Go out there, drink up and soak up every single thing you can. Go to all the different websites. Be careful of who you listen to on certain sites. Clubhouse is great, but there are a lot of people who just like to talk. So go find a podcast you like. Go find publications you like. Reach out to REDX. They have you guys still have the Roleplay program, right?
We do, yes.
do the role play program with them. They'll go be easy, medium, or hard in regards to kind of your role playing, so that you kind of hear how your tonality and scripting works out, so you can get out there and have a positive mindset. But at no juncture in this entire business that you're going to be into, do never friggin' quit. If you quit, you will fail. Those who never quit will never fail, guys. It gets rough. It's friggin' ugly at times. You feel depressed, beaten up, and everything else. But just take a minute, 90 seconds, dust yourself off, get up, put your big boy pants on, put your big girl pants on, get back out there, keep doing the calls, keep doing the marketing, keep doing the videos, and keep thinking like my father did when he started in the business. He started in the 70s in Boulder, Colorado in the snow. He was door knocking. And his brother died. His brother had polio. And his mantra to himself was, everybody likes me. They just don't know me yet. And I'm a doctor, and I have a cure for what's ailing you, and I'm here to help. And so he did it every day in the snow, door knocking. So you guys, you know what? Every one of you have this. You're amazing human beings. And those are my final thoughts.
Greg, you're making me feel all inspired. I'm going to go change the world now. Thank you so much for coming on here for the 45 minutes that you have. This has been awesome. We have a lot of people in the chat who've asked you questions and said thank you for your knowledge. I'm sure it will help people leaps and bounds. So thank you to everybody watching. Thank you so much for tuning in live or watching this, listening to this later. We're here every Thursday at 1:30 Mountain Time, which makes that 3:30 Eastern Time. And so we appreciate you showing up. And like Greg said, being a student of knowledge, being a sponge, taking up all of these good practices and everything. Just as a reminder, follow us to get notifications for all of this. Yeah, go to redx.com/podcasts and wait for the pop-up, and you can put your email in to also be a part of surveys and other things for this podcast. But I think that wraps up today's show. Thanks again, Greg, and we'll have to have you on again. But until then, we'll see you guys next week.